Welcome everyone to the Real Autumn Broker podcast series, where you will learn about brokers on the Real Autumn platform and the organizations that they represent. My name is Luis Delgado, account executive at Real Autumn. Real Autumn is the industry's #1 lending as a service technology platform, empowering commercial real estate lenders like banks, credit unions, non-banking organizations to generate more CRE loans. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing managing partner Ken Deacon at Deacon Capital Partners. And welcome. Thank you for taking time to present to us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Pass it on complete to you. I just kind of want to know, curious to know, what got you into the commercial real estate space, and
Yeah,
how you got here today.
yeah. So I think I have somewhat of a unique journey into the commercial real estate world, at least on the brokering side. My background, I actually did go to school for finance and real estate. That's what I majored in. So,
Mhm.
in the industry that I decided to go in college, I started my career as a banker, and from the very bottom, started as a teller, very quickly moved into becoming a commercial analyst,
Mhm.
and just kind of always enjoyed commercial real estate space, and that's mainly what I was working on as an
Mhm.
analyst at 24 years old.
Mhm.
And I had an opportunity to get to take a promotion as a commercial real estate loan officer, and so
Mhm.
I took that and was a commercial lender for a big regional bank, uh,
Okay.
for quite a while. And honestly, I got introduced to the broker space through a family friend, and he was a broker in town, is a broker in town,
Mm.
and I kind of became his go-to commercial lender for projects he was working on.
Got it.
And so I placed quite a few deals with him. And I think through the process, I kind of realized I was on the wrong side of the transaction. You know, I was he was obviously he was doing really well. He does large
Oh.
projects. He specializes in a lot of multifamily deals and things like that. And I just enjoyed that aspect, and I've always wanted to be out on my own anyway. And
Mm.
I didn't really have any interest in working for someone. And the bank that I was at, I'd hit the glass ceiling pretty quickly, even
Mhm.
into my late 20s. And
Okay.
so actually, I had an opportunity at the time to move out of state, and the bank I was working for did not have offices in the state where I was
Uh,
moving. And so, hey, at 29 years old, I decided, what the hell, I'll take the leap and jump out,
mhm.
and got out of corporate banking. And I had a lot of deals in the pipeline that I was working on at the time, and
Mhm.
called up those clients and said, hey, this is my plan. This is what I'm doing. Would you be interested in hiring me
Mhm.
as a placement agent or as your broker? And,
Mhm.
they agreed. Most of them agreed. And that kind of is what kicked it all off. And, that was about 10 years ago. And about 2 years into it, my father decided to come in. He basically semi-retired and asked if he could join. And I'm more of the deal guy. I like to be out in front of our clients and making deals and negotiating with our banks. And he's really good at doing our back office work, our analysis,
Mhm.
analyzing cash flows and things like that. So it became a really nice partnership, and yeah, we're still doing it today.
Awesome. Can you tell me about that partnership and your firm and what you
Yeah,
guys specialize in? And I know you have some slides today, so if you want to share those with
sure.
us, you can
Yeah,
share your screen here, the green button here at the bottom.
yeah. Let me do
Um,
that. Let me jump in here.
yeah, no, take your time.
Here we go.
It's funny how you jumped in from lending to the other side though.
Yeah, it's I'll just go here. So here, again, it's really just me and my father. It's a two-man team, but
Mhm.
we work really well together in our roles and responsibilities. Uh, I consider him our COO, CFO,
Mhm.
and as a managing partner and founder, like I said, I'm sourcing our deals. I'm out negotiating, meeting, doing things like that. So when I was in banking, kind of later in my banking career, I got involved with several hospitality groups, and
Mhm.
that's really kind of
Right.
where where things kind of took me as I transitioned into becoming a broker. And,
Mhm.
these transactions that we've been working on are very complicated and they take a long time to close. But here, just, here a couple of, a couple of deals that
Yeah.
we've worked in. These are pretty recent projects, actually. So the AC by Marriott and then the Lafayette, and both here in Little
Mhm.
Rock, are actually located just a couple of blocks away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you can see one from the other. It's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
these were both really unique projects in the fact that they were, what we call historic, repurposes. God, what's the word I'm looking for? Just redevelopments. Essentially, these were both commercial office buildings that
Mhm.
were redeveloped into hotels. The Lafayette was
Ah,
actually originally a hotel that was converted to condos and commercial space. Now it's
mm.
being converted back to a hotel.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a really old, beautiful building, but it's a really nice project. The AC was the same. It was a commercial office building.
Mm.
The development group originally talked about doing multifamily here, and then we went through the cash flow analysis and projections and things and decided, hotel was probably a better fit.
Mhm.
So, these are both unique. The cap stacks are very similar in these two deals,
Mhm.
different borrowing groups, but we utilized state and federal historic tax credits
Mhm.
on these, and then also PACE financing. So
Okay.
PACE is, property assessed clean energy. It's a pretty unique thing. That's not many PACE deals are done, especially in the state of Arkansas, but the ones that have done here, we've been involved in. So it's pretty
Mhm.
exciting.
Mhm.
So, like I said, these are very complicated. It was bringing in senior debt along with owner
Mhm.
equity, state and federal historic tax credits. And then what we did with these deals is we actually bridged the credits and
Mhm.
brought all that capital in at closing of the senior debt. So,
Mhm.
we got, say, just call it 90 cents per dollar
Yeah.
on the tax credits. And then we found a bridge lender that was able to bridge those credits and bring all of that capital in at closing instead of having to wait through the vesting period of those credits over a 5-year period. So,
Mhm.
we essentially put that in as additional owner equity into the
Mhm.
deal. And yeah, we're able to get these two done. So, two very
That's awesome.
exciting projects, both
Mhm.
are in about the $20 million range.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. You have another. Let me see. What's the other one you have on there? Or do you have? What would you say? Which
Yeah.
would you say was one of like the? I'm curious. One of the craziest deals that you closed. One that was like seemed impossible to close, and somehow you got it
This
done.
this deal right here,
Oh,
this
really?
last deal on the right. Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
so this is literally, almost the same structure as the two in Little Rock. This is a really cool property. It is the original Shell Oil Corporation. It's
ah,
their Midwest headquarters
yeah.
located in downtown St. Louis. And
Okay.
this was about twice the size of the two projects that were in Little Rock.
Hmm.
This one was closed about a year and a half ago,
Hmm.
and it went through many different iterations before we finally got this thing to the finish line. This is a project that we worked on. I'm actually part of this group, and we worked on this deal, I think, for 4 years,
Okay.
prior to getting this one closed.
Hmm.
It's a large building. It's 250,000 plus square feet. It was going to be a dual brand Hilton project, and then
Hmm.
like I said, these deals are very complicated and they're hard to work through. And St. Louis is a pretty unique city in that it's a union town, and so
Hmm.
we're dealing with things from that perspective. But that was that was kind of our big kind of crown jewel to date, was that
Hmm.
Shell building, and I was just happy that I could be a part of the development group on that one as well. So
Hmm.
the owners are actually located out of Chicago. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so we have Chicago. One recently moved to Alaska, and I'm the only one left in the South. So
Alaska.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So it's a pretty neat deal. I mean, it's we like working on the complicated deals. We
Mhm.
like to be able to bring a lot of value to the transaction. I don't really consider ourselves just hey, send us a deal, we'll go out and get you some terms, and then we'll compare those terms. And obviously we want to find all of our borrowers the best deals. I do think that we bring a lot of value almost from like a capital stack consulting standpoint.
Mhm.
So we're able to kind of walk through and help with the more complicated transactions, kind of direct where we think sometimes a project needs to go.
Yeah.
Maybe does it need additional owner equity? If not, is there, some sort of unique structure that we can utilize, or maybe we could bring in a PACE financing component, just things like that. We try to really think outside the box, we don't want the transaction to be overly complicated, obviously. I mean, that causes a lot of senior lenders some headaches, but yeah, I mean, we like to bring more value than just, hey, a rate and a term, and then, here you go.
Right. No, you definitely take your time with it and try to find the best solution for both sides.
Yeah,
I like that. Cam, before we have a few more questions left.
Sure.
We wrap up for the final questions. One that comes to mind is do you remember the first deal you closed and how you felt?
Oh gosh, the first deal that I closed from on the broker side.
Yeah, on the broker side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember the first deal. It was, shocking. I know that it was a hotel, but it was a hotel located in Northwest Arkansas in Bentonville, and it was about a half a mile away from the Walmart World Headquarters.
Oh wow!
And it was actually for the same group in Chicago that owns this shell building. They have a 4 Points up there, and it was about a $10.2 million transaction. And the bank that they were with was, hey, it's a local bank. They had a good relationship with the local bank, but they were paying what I considered at the time, they were paying a really high interest rate on the deal. Yeah. And the owner I consider him a really good friend of mine.
Yep.
And I just went to him and I said, hey, I know that this is here. I think there's an opportunity to refinance this project and really save a substantial amount of money. And so we got it done, and we got it done at US Bank. And year one interest savings alone were 1.2 million.
Oh, wow.
So it was a huge difference in what they were coming out of pocket. Strictly just an interest, and I mean, I understand relationships are very important in making, and I would say that as much as anyone. I think there comes to a point though where you have to really look at the relationship versus I mean, $1 million, that's real money,
Right.
You're either sending that to your lender or you're putting that in your pocket as an owner. And so like, while I never like to take anything from a relationship, that was just one where it really made sense. So that was the first one, and that was, like I said, about 10 years ago. So I was really proud of that transaction, especially considering the size. 10 million for the first project that we had ever done, and I was
pretty sure that sounds like that propelled you forward. You're motivated to keep going.
Well, yeah, it really did, and it honestly opened a lot of doors. I mean, so it's this friend of mine. He's an Indian, and the Indian community is very close. They're very big families, and they really lean on each other for referrals and advice and help and things like that. And so when we did that deal, he basically introduced me to his entire family, and the majority of which were hotel owners. So we closed one not long after that with his brother-in-law that's a hotelier in San Antonio. We closed a deal in Frisco, Texas with a cousin of his. So it's been a fun journey.
I love it. Just two final questions, and you can answer this one maybe like maybe in 2 words or even sentence, but what do you love most about commercial real estate?
Oh man, the ability to be creative. It's commercial real estate to me is no two deals are the same by any means, and there's so many different levers that you can pull and change, and you can tweak this to change this a little bit. And I love the fact that we can go in and really look at a deal from a high level, what I call a 30,000 foot view, and then we can kind of look at the transaction as a whole and try to change one or two things to make it fit, for this lender, or if there's some wiggle room to change it to fit to this lender. I like the flexibility, honestly, flexibility and creativity.
Love it. Hey Cam, where can people find you?
So our website, just Deacon Capital.
Mhm.
Or, I mean, honestly, my cell phone, I don't mind giving out my cell number. I mean, I'm always available. It's 501-554-4189. And also LinkedIn. It's just Cam Deacon. So yeah,
Okay,
I'm available, different places.
great. Well, look, Cam, thanks for presenting, to us today. Appreciate your time and you sharing about your life, business, and
Yeah, absolutely.
if for anyone that's listening or viewing, if you're interested in speaking with Cam, don't hesitate to contact him directly. Or if you want to speak to me between episodes, feel free to email me at luis@realadam.com. If you're interested in learning more about Realadam or the Broker Podcast series, please visit our website at realadam.com. And see everyone on the next episode.